very warm welcome to each one of you for another edition of this evening program. And I know you're all waiting for December month, which is a musical month. We thought we may not be able to give you a musical kacheri, but we can bring in somebody who is very good in music and both. Before I call upon the speakers, will be joining us very soon, because the MMA timing and the traffic of Chennai doesn't suit, so he's got stuck in that Jimmy traffic. He'll be any moment, but that gives me an opportunity for you to brief on some other program, because I've been always getting calls and mails. A lot of people say they're not able to see the mail. You must understand, most of the MMA mails, we got a tracker. We really see who sees the mail, who doesn't see the mail. Out of mails, what we think, couple of thousands, I can assure you only some 27% see my mail actually. Balance they see MMA, they go to spam, otherwise they don't see at all. So what the trick is that you have to go and select, and otherwise what happened, Gmail or Google, it goes to spam. Unless you select and choose and pull it to your inbox, it will start coming. So that's only one reason you will do.
Can we all give a round of applause to Mr. Vinayak?
I always tell...
I'll tell you the reason.
Yes, sir.
Can anybody guess what is the price at which that...
Oh, don't let go the secrets. I'll become a real estate agent then.
No real estate agent.
No.
Can anybody guess what is the price on Mount Rose, what he bought? One ground?
No idea.
Just take a guess.
3.5 crores per ground.
Take a guess.
6 plus.
6.7 grounds. Per ground, what is the price? Anybody else? Anybody else?
10 crores.
Somebody said 3.5, less than that. Can you believe it?
Yeah.
3.1 crore. Let's give him a big hand.
So, I think it's a good input for you people, because today the property price in Chennai is really crashed one thing.
Mind you, not a single pie in black, not a single penny as brokerage.
Commission. We're not paid penny as a brokerage. That itself we saved almost 40 lakhs rupees. We paid 2%. Sorry, sir?
Your color is white.
Very good, sir. Very, very rhythmic and timely. So what, at the end of the day, it's very close to the MMA committee members, building committee chairman Sriram and Srivathram, who is the chairman of the building committee, TVS group, and also our president Shivaraman, and very dedicated team. We negotiate very hard, because we know that nobody is there to pay in one check the entire money. So we could negotiate and bring down the price as much as possible. And besides this, because we have a challenge also, the price is 31 crores by the guideline value of the property. So we applied to the government of Tamil Nadu waiver for that extra value, which is already agreed in principle by the government of Tamil Nadu to do the waiver. So by that also we save over 80 lakhs in terms of registration fees. So it's all, I think, being a management, we should set example at what you have done. Anyway, I think I've spoken. Let me now welcome all the viewers who are watching this program live from all over chapters, all over India, all over the world. I remember last time when somebody watched the program, he was so happy to say that my program somebody watched in USA. I said, very nice, we have become MMA not only national, we become international. I think we have to get these 2 more chairs and we'll get it organized. Let me go and organize a chair and let me see what the very speak. Now, let's talk something serious. I think I rarely get an opportunity to interact with such intellectual crowd in a group, and very rarely that happens to me. As I mentioned, we want to put a state-of-art building, and nobody really, I thought somebody get up and ask, what are you going to do for finance? Nobody really got up and asked. So what I would really request you, some of the members who are really passionate to raise, we want you to be an ambassador for us. We don't want you to really get into trouble. You be an ambassador for MMA. Say that, okay, I will join you MMA Building Fund Committee. All that I commit to you is nothing much. We'll only raise about 10 lakhs for you. I think not a big amount, 10 lakhs. Some 50 guys joined us. I think that has made my day actually. I'm serious about it. If somebody is really interested, please do come forward. You'll be a MMA ambassador, you'll be part of the MMA fundraising committee. Notwithstanding, I'm trying from all sources. We have got a very good networking. A lot of industries will be helping us. We will not leave it through me, because at the end of the day, what we are really planning also, we don't want to touch on the corpus what the MMA has got. So at the end of the day, if I have to really run the programs what we are doing it today, we need a good corpus, so that instead of 2-3 talks, what we are doing at the moment, maybe we will do it every week. our intention is to do some phenomenal program. We want to do it for management students. Now at the moment, management students are not permitted to come for the evening program. We permit students to also to come. One more thing we are contemplating to open is we want the youngsters to feel that they are independent and they are going to be very, very, very good future managers. So what you are going to do that instead of making student members to the universities and colleges, we are going to offer them direct student membership to them. And they will become part of MMA, they will attend events, they will interact with you, they attend the evening talks like this. And once we have an auditorium of 350 seater, we can accommodate students and we will be mentoring, counseling, we will guide them, we will be able to help them in a large number of other ways, because we thought student today, I seen a lot of people who have succeeded in their life not because of their Harvard or IITs or things. They all succeeded because they have been a great observers, watching people is the one who really made people successful. At least I really learned from a lot of people, observing people, that what we could be the next level. But I got some seats there. Why don't you come and sit on there? There are 2 seats taken there. It's gone out, my seat is gone. It's gone out. Okay, some seats, we'll get it for you. I think somebody can help us to get some seats. No? Who is there? So this is what we thought we'll be doing. So you please share your ideas, share your thoughts. So what could be done to take MMA to the next level? Because we try constantly, we keep trying to. Once again, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Very warm welcome to thing. I know the program of this nature, there will be a lot of standing people will be watching, so there is no issue. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together to welcome the only one. May I request you to please come on to the stage, sir. Mr. Ramesh Shekhar and Mr. S.P. Basmati. Let me have the privilege of introducing the great SPB. He's an Indian film playback singer, actor, music director, voice actor, film producer. He is mostly referred as SPB and or Balu affectionately. He had won the Guinness World Record for recording the highest number of songs. He won the National Film Award. He won the National Film Award for the Best Male Playback Singer 6 times, and Nandini Award of Telugu Cinema 25 times from the Government of India. Envy of he has rendered over 40,000 songs in various Indian languages. He has won a National Film Award across 4 languages, as well as a Filmfare Award, 5 South Indian Filmfare Awards, and numerous state awards from Tamil Nadu and Karnataka. He is a recipient of civil awards such as Padma Shri in 2001, Padma Bhushan in 2011 from the Government of India. Ladies and gentlemen, it's really a wonderful personality amongst us this evening. Let me also have the privilege of introducing Mr. MS Shekhar. MS Shekhar is very close to MMA. You know, he's also a past president of the Madras Management Association. He served as a managing director and he's presently serving as the managing director of 3D Management Service Private Limited. MS Shekhar served as the managing director of Sanmar Specialty Chemicals, and he's also served as a consultant in the field of corporate governance. He has over 3 decades of industrial experience and has served the various positions from finance manager to managing director. Shekhar served as a non-executive independent director in Chemplast Terminal at the moment. He is a chartered accountant by profession, postgraduate diploma in business management and Ministry of Management, Kolkata. As I mentioned to you, we are proud and privileged to have him because he is one of the past presidents. He is the pillars on whom we are all riding and going from success to success. Now I will hand over the session to Mr. Shekhar. He will brief you on the format of the event, and ladies and gentlemen, you are going to have a wonderful feast of the evening. Good luck. Over to Mr. Shekhar.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a special welcome to SPB for being so kind enough to accept our invitation. Be with us today, despite his grueling schedule. These days, I believe he's an ambassador for the Swachh Bharat scheme in parts of Andhra Pradesh. He spends a lot of time there, and tomorrow early morning he has to leave for Dubai. And despite that, he has accepted our invitation, and the only one reason I can think of is because it is about MSV. MSV's association with Balu, or Balu's association with MSV, runs for many years, and on one occasion when MSV was at my residence, he was talking about the various musicians and vocalists he has directed, and his description of SPB was, the SPB is like a blotting paper. He completely absorbs everything that I have to give. There's nothing. So normally he doesn't say that of many singers. So this evening we are going to be spending the next 1 hour or so taking the example of an individual who came with very humble beginnings and strode as a colossus in the field of film music for over 3 decades. Generally, MMA talks about leadership, stars in manufacturing, business, trade, and commerce. So today, entertainment in its own right is a big industry. We all know that. And its thought struck me as why is it that we should always talk about leadership role models only from manufacturing and trade industry? Why not we look at the entertainment industry and look for role models there too? There are so many management insights we can gain from them. And because my personal affinity towards music, I love music, and particularly film music, particularly music of MSV. I said, look, why not we take him as the case study today and present to you how he became a leader, how he sustained the leadership over 3 decades. It's not easy today for anyone to sustain a business as a leader for 30 years or more. It's very tough. He did it with aplomb. He never, programmed for it. It just came naturally to him that, look, I keep performing. As I keep performing, I stand out as a leader. That's how his life was. So I thought, why not use his example and take you through, it's a management case study. We are not going to play many music songs today, but we are going to give some specific examples that I narrate upon. I want to illustrate it with song bits, maybe just 1 line, 1.5 minutes, just to show that, look, how appropriate it is. A lot of it, SPB also will be involved in this. Format that he preferred was that after I finish, he will collect all that I have said, plus all that he has to say about this, about MSV, and he will give his view as presentation of what his experience was in working with MSV and how he considered him as a leader. With that, we start. Now, the topic, as you see, is leadership in creative business. Now, any business needs a definition. Yeah, before that, there's no video here, right? No. Creative business, by definition, it is a business of creating and delivering music for films. That is the business he was in. It is a very tangible product, like any other product, and it has intellectual property rights, it has IP rights as well. It is creative because it is custom made every time. You can't imagine a product in a business where every product, nothing can be replicated. You can't repeat even one line of that. Every product has to be different for every occasion, for every sequence, for every situation. So therefore, it truly belongs to the area of creativity. It's a business. Why? Because its constituencies are across the board same like any other business. You have a stakeholder who is the producer. You have a customer, B2B, who is the producer as well as the distributors because they finance the project. And you have, of course, the B2C, the general public, without whose support and validation, success can never be yours. Collaborators. In every business you find you have to collaborate. You have either to collaborate with the vendors, collaborate with the technologies. Here, you collaborators are the directors, the lyricist, and the sound recordist. All these 3 people have to play their role effectively in order that the music song that is produced as a product is outstanding. And while, in a creative business, you have one side of it is creativity. You have to create something new. Other side is execution. And you often find that some people are excellent in ideas, but when it comes to execution, they fall short. How many occasions we have seen in business where an excellent idea has not succeeded because of poor execution, and sometimes a not so great idea has succeeded remarkably because of excellent execution. In MSP's case, it is as you always used to say that, look, he believes in absolute standards, not relative standards. It is not enough if you are 1% above somebody. You have to meet 10 out of 10. So his creative part, he had to excel, and his execution team, he had to excel. Therefore, his execution team was as important as the creating team. So the singers, like SPB, the members of the orchestra, were as an integral part of the whole production as the creativity part of it. And the music director, just as in any business, somebody has to own the accountability ultimately. The buck stops where? As far as the music is concerned, the buck stops with the music director. It's complete ownership and accountability to the producer who has put in the money. So these are exactly very similar thing in any business that you see. And let us look at his background, how he emerged in the early 50s and what was the situation then. At that time, there was a subtle change coming from production houses which had their own music team, like the Geminis and like the modern theatres. They had own musicians, music team. They are now moving to outsourcing, where they could go to other talents and get better results. We all know in business where we often move out from captive production to outsourcing. The situation was not very different then. And there was a shift in the emphasis, because before that it was all more historical and monarchy related themes. Now the emphasis was on social themes, and then there was a customer shift from pure classical music combinations to a different genre, including classical, folk and western. And the films were focused on the younger generation with exposure to western influences. So he was emerging at a time there was a shift in the audience expectations, the producer's expectations. The market was changing. And what are the challenges he faced? He had to evolve on a continuous basis, because the situation was not something which was set for him. He entered a situation which was changing. So he had to make sure that he fits in with the change and evolve on a continuous basis. He had to find that new combinations of melody and rhythm to fit three things: the storyline, the sequence of the song, where it is placed, and the lyrics. All the melody and the rhythm have to fit in and merge seamlessly into that. And he had to manage technology with the introduction of new electronic instruments. And since he hadn't had the background to learn music even formally, other than what he learned from Nilakanta Bhagavatar, and he was not tuned into Western instruments as to how to play them, except in the piano. He had to manage the technology, because the keyboards and other guitars were all emerging at that time, and use the Congo drums and what kind of thing. And what is his response to these changes? First thing is the team size of the orchestra, which was earlier, I think, I'm not sure about the numbers, but certainly not very large. He increased the size for better effects. You could see some songs with over 7,500 people in the orchestra team, because that was giving a much better effect. You see here, this photograph, all these principal players, and SPB was remarking that this is what he is busy today. So, increasing the size of the orchestra for better effects was one thing he did. Next one was, he gave a lot more importance to rhythm and rhythmic combinations than the previous era. I always say that there is music, film music before MSP, there is film music after MSP. Therefore, what he did was transformational. He did not change. He transformed to the new taste. Also, he did not believe in saying that, look, okay, if the public taste is this, let me make a music for that. He believed that, look, this is the right music for the public. And the public lapped it up. That is very difficult to do it, because you can't really say what will the public like, what will they not like. But he believed that, look, this public will like this. And he produced, and therefore I consider him greater, because he influenced the taste of the public. he brought about a change in what to expect from film music. And rhythmic innovations, I have one audio bit where he begins a song with a rhythmic innovation, with the drums and bongos, and you see the electrifying effect it has on the beginning of the song. Over to you. See the effect of how the song begins. As recently as last week, not last week, 1 year ago, when MSV attended one of those Super Singer programs, Unni Krishnan was there. He asked MSV, look, somebody sang this song, and he asked MSV, how did you ever think of this kind of a rhythmic combination to start a song like that? And who played the bongo drums for that? The first one MSV couldn't answer, as always. And he could never, explain why or how he did what he did. But he said, look, the person who played the bongos is Gopal Krishnan. That's all he could remember. So the rhythmic combination that he introduced, you can see in many songs where there's a mixture of Tishram and Chadushram combining, and different instruments being played, and combining a dholak and a bongos. If you see Padwar Padinal with a piano, with a tabla tarang, and a bongo and a drums. Nobody would have thought of combining these three in a song like this, but we don't have that audio today, because I wasn't sure we'll have the time for all that. So the rhythmic innovations made youngsters very keenly watching his songs, because they liked it. It triggered some kind of a spirit amongst them, and they looked forward to it. And another convention before he came on the scene was that the lyrics would be written and the tune will be, and the tune will be set to the lyrics. That was the convention followed earlier. And he believed that, look, no, this time has come to change that. There are situations where I have, for the context, for the situation the directors explain, I feel that this tune will be very appropriate and the lyrics can fit into that. It's a very bold attempt to do that, because you have to tell a person like Annadasan to say, look, this is the Santan, and you better make lyrics for that. In that I have one clipping which that is Shyam Joseph. He's a regular player, he's a music director, he's composed for more than 300 Malayalam films. So even in the films, that was introduced as someone giving the tune first and the lyrics later. That was the film K. Balachandra with Kamal Haasan and Sridevi with SPB and Janaki. Can we have that bit to start with? and during his time, he complemented the super icons Shivaji and MGR. Their imprint on Tamil films was very, very strong. A lot of thematic compositions which reflected the social and political environment at that time. And a lot of people used to say that, look, okay, all Shivaji films, MSV music, all MGR films, MSV music, means his hit is almost partial to them. He was never, but it so happened that the themes, their acting, everything merged very well with them. So he could produce a lot of super hit songs during that time. And in fact, in the one, I'll come to that later, okay. The other thing, innovation he introduced was, film music was always known to be in the background. Nobody ever saw the artist, nobody ever saw the orchestra, they just heard the record. He was the one to introduce public concert with orchestra. He took the music live to the audience. He took the music live to the audience. And look at his marketing genius. If you ever want to have connectivity with your B2C customer, end user, you have to go to him directly. No point in going through a cable or a disc. So he went straight to the hearts of the people there. The person who listened to the songs completely went bowled over. He came to Bombay they came to Bombay in 63 when Bharati Kalamandalam, when TMS, Sushila all came. And the whole Bombay was swept. Naushad, they were all there. In the music, and then Naushad even stood up and asked for a remake and re-singing the song. Such a hit. Then, along with SPB, he came again in 73 or 74 to Bombay, Chembur and all that. Again, it was a super hit. Because connectivity was super. And there are instances where he himself has narrated when he said once he got a chit from a guy. He looked at that guy. That boy is about 18 years old. And he looked at the song and he said, look, is this chit given by you or somebody else has asked you to give this chit? He said, no, it's my chit. I want this song sung. He said, do you know how old this song is? This song is 32 years old. You are 18 years old, you're asking for a song which is 32 years old. That boy wanted to listen to Ninaipadellam Nadande Vittale Nenjilorale. That was the connectivity he had. And another instance, very touching instance, he mentioned once, that in one of those concerts, a young widow came and gave a chit for a song, and he got a little, was a little troubled. He said, look, this song is a love duet, and here's this lady wanting me to play that song. He did play the song, because I believe that lady said that this song, when we were married, my husband and I used to listen to the song every night before going to bed. And he died young. So the memory of this song is so strong in my mind. That is the kind of a penetration he had. And he said a lot of fuss, I would say, trend. First time there was a public ranking of songs, public survey of ranking songs. When Baba Manipur film came, I don't know which magazine it was, I think it was Ananda Vigalan, I'm not sure. They asked public, because the songs were super hit songs. They wanted to know which song public ranked first, which song they ranked second, third. So survey done, the survey was published. And surprisingly, they were surprised. Some people thought Attan will be number one song. It was not number one song. The first song was Chiraruvar Chirasiripar Shirti Budyari in Train. But that seemed to have touched the chords of the people more than the other song. Not that other songs were any less, they were outstanding. And even in that song of Attan, P. Sushila recently, let out a secret. One of the MSV Times programs, she said, one day she had come for the recording for the song, her voice was not good. And she felt that, look, I'm not fit today for recording. So she said, look, no, sing the few lines. She sang a few lines. I said, no, for today's song, your voice is enough. And that song was Attan. Because there was not too much of higher octave singing. So, he knew exactly what he wanted from his artist. Then music to boost the fortunes of the film. This is another incident narrated by A.V.M. Sharavana. See, AVM produced a movie in the early 60s called Veera Thirumagan, of all tier 2 stars, not the tier 1 stars, not the big heroes, the big heroines. And as you know, those days there would be a poster of the film release on all the walls, and AVM being a big banner. And it so happened after the first week they could realize that the film was getting nowhere. But then in the 1 week's time, the songs had become a super hit. So he said, what did we do? Next week the posters were Roja Malari Rajakumari. The film derived its success or whatever success it had from this song. He said, look, this song is a better advertisement for the film than the name of the film. What other validation can you expect than this? And other thing was that those days I was told, and SPB can correct me, no one had ever attempted 100 plus orchestra for any songs before him.
Yes, certainly.
Okay. And when he did Pudhiya Paravai song, then later on he did Vishakarna also, without any help from technology. I don't even know whether the hall size was good enough to accommodate all of them. The story was that some people used to sit outside, yet record this. Imagine, and with people of 100 plus, if one person makes one mistake, the whole thing had to be redone. There was no facility of cut and paste as it is today. So he had to manage an execution team with such a huge orchestra, and I'm sure the song also won't be simple as that. There will be tunes, the bits will be very, very complicated, requiring a lot of attention, but he did that. Similarly, when occasion needed, he could do with 3 people, as he did for Bahar Privane. So he knew exactly that, look, if you want me to make a big bang show, I can do it. If you want to make a very simple folk tune, I can do it. Absolutely at ease. He could navigate from one end of the spectrum to the other. His folk tune was outstanding, because I have been to some of his recordings. Some of these people